You think that was cool?
Hello! This is Kaos Kards, a card-based fighting game where you use both your skill and luck in order to best your opponent. So as most of you know, Kaos Kards was made for a game jam in around 2 weeks, and due to it being made in a game jam, a lot of the code was made really quickly. So even though the game works perfectly fine, open up the hood and... Yeah, the current code for the game is not great. It's not really flexible, so adding in new content is pretty annoying. Just as an example to show how annoying it is to add new content to the game, let's try and add in a new action card. So let's see, what type of card should we put in? Let's add in a bread card. Oh, we already have one. Here we go. Yep. Alright, let's add in bread card number 2. The first step that we have to do in order to make a new card is make an object. This object will be the child of the main card object. If you have no idea what I mean by child, what this basically means is that the child object will copy all the code from the parent object, which in this case is the main card object. Now in the creative end of this object, we have the information as well as the action. Now here's a little fun fact for you guys. This function does absolutely nothing. It is not used anywhere at all. I have no idea why it's in here. I just have it there. Now, the card exists, but it doesn't actually have any information for the card. So in order to actually add in information, we have to go into a separate script. This script contains all the information for all the card types in the game. So to add some information, first we have to add to the global variables. Then for the value of the variable, we make it a struct that contains all this information. The information that the struct has is its name, description, range, type, action, as well as how big the info box is. With this, we have finally added in a card, but we haven't actually given it its action. In order to add in an action, we have to go to a separate script called player actions. In here, we can add our own actions. To keep it simple, I'm just going to copy the code for the bread actions and just change the name. Now we have the actions and the card, but in order to make the card perform the actions, we actually have to go into a separate script called get player actions. In here, we add the string of the action we want to make. So in our case, it would be bread2. Then we add the function that we want to use. In this case, it's player bread2. Now with this, we actually have the bread card with its action, but it's only for the player. In order to add it for the enemy, we have to repeat all the steps again, but for the enemy. With just this explanation alone, you can see how annoying it really is to add in a new card to the game. So, for the new system, I wanted to make it so it was really easy to add in new stuff. So no matter what crazy idea we would have, we would be able to implement it easily. So this is how you add in a new card into the new Kaos Kards. Instead of having to create an object, we go into this separate script called action cards. In here, we have all the action cards for the game. So if we wanted to add bread 2, we would just add to the struct as so. The information that we give the struct is a constructor that holds all the information the card needs, such as its name, description, sprite, range, and action. If you can't tell, we don't have to put in the box info anymore because the box actually resides itself based on the text. For its action, instead of having a player bread action and an enemy bread action, it's just one bread action. All the functions that perform an action have one argument, a target enemy argument. In here, you can pretty much add anything. There's even some built-in functions to make the card have a juice or even shake. And with the target enemy variable, you can make attacks that either target the player or the enemy. And with these steps, we've added in a new card. As you can tell, it is a whole lot easier than the game jam version. I spent a lot of time remaking everything for this game, including how the dice works, how the slot works, and even the health bar. So let me get into all the new stuff we added to the game. Starting with some quality of life features, we made it so that the health bar actually shows what effects you currently have. Originally, in the game jam version, you would just get damaged and damaged without actually knowing if you have the effect or if the game's just bugged. But now, we actually have effect icons as well as effect colors, so that you actually know what's hurting you. We also made it so that slots are easier to swap with, being able to swap from slot to slot as well as from slot to hand. We also made it so that discarding a card will automatically give you a new card, since a lot of people in the game jam version had no idea you can draw cards. We also updated some of the art in the game, as well as changed the character designs of some enemies. Angel had the biggest glow up out of all of these, going from Angel the Teen to Angel the Juvenile. But that's just some updated stuff. What about the new stuff? The big additions coming to Kaos Kards. One of the biggest additions that we are planning on adding soon is combos. Combos are something that both the player and enemy can perform. In order to perform a combo, you need to play 3 of the same cards. When a combo is performed, the cards will not do the normal attack. Instead, they'll all combine to make one huge attack. Now this is super cool, but super overpowered. So we made it so you cannot spam these combos. Instead, they will be treated as ultimates. In order to even perform a combo, you need to build up a combo meter. You can build this meter up by dealing damage to the enemy. Once your combo meter is full, you can actually perform the combo. Of course, there will be chaos cards that affect the combo meter, such as the combo reducer and the combo enhancer. The combo reducer, as the name implies, will reduce the combo meter by a random amount, while the combo enhancer will make it so that the amount of value the combo meter gains is enhanced. We're also changing the way that you fight enemies. Originally, in the Game Jam version, you would just pick an enemy, fight them, and go on to the next until you beat the game. Well, now you'll be competing in tournaments. There will be many tournaments in the games with many different themes. Of course, the original crew will be the first tournament. The main goal of the game is to keep fighting in these tournaments in order to win the title of the best chaos player of all time. Each tournament will have brand new enemies that you will be facing, as well as brand new cards and brand new challenges. In the finals of each tournament, the enemy you will be facing will have an item that can change how the whole game works. These items are called badges. Badges are, well, badges. Both the player and enemy can equip these in order to change up how the game is played. An example of a badge would be a badge that changes all the dice in the game to be changed into 4-sided dice. We are still working on how badges will work exactly, but this is the main idea of it. Basically, just stuff that can change how the entire game works, just adding a bit of more chaos to it. We also have some brand new cards, one of them being the mirror card. The mirror card is an action card that when used, all physical attacks targeted at the card are reflected back at the enemy, with the bonus of adding onto the value of the card based on its range. The card, as said, can only reflect physical attacks, so cards like the poison card will still hurt the player. But if the mirror card is used for a combo, it can reflect all attacks, including non-physical attacks, with the negative side effect that damage and effects are not doubled. The next card that we're adding in is the Freezing Ace card. Now, if you guys played the Game Jam version, you might actually recall that the Freezing Ace is actually already a card. Well, even though this is true, the Freezing Ace card in the Game Jam version is just a weaker reskin of the Flaming Ace card. So we decided to make the Freezing Ace a chaos card instead. Now, when the Freezing Ace is used, it freezes one slot from both the player and enemy side for one turn. When the slot is frozen, it is unable to be used. Now that's a lot of content, and content that's not even added in the game yet. I already implemented a lot of the things into the game, but I still need to figure out how to really do combos and badges. Now, since we're adding a lot of stuff to the game, I thought it would be smart to actually set up a GitHub so I can experiment without the fear of breaking the whole project. But I also decided to make the project open source. For the people who are unaware of what open source means, it basically means that the code for the project is available publicly. This means that anyone, anywhere, can view the files, as well as modify it. The main reason why I wanted to make Chaos Cards open source is to allow people to send feedback, bug reports, and request new features pretty easily. This will also allow you guys to see the progress on the game while I'm not uploading, cause I know I kinda suck at that. With it being open source, this also allows people to contribute to the game. I am one person working on this whole project, and I'm not really the smartest. So it'd be really cool if people can contribute, even if it's a small contribution. Contribution. I will actually be posting beta builds for people to playtest on the GitHub. So if you want to request some features, help out with the game, play the game, or just want to see the progress, go check out the GitHub. I'll have it linked below in the description. Now, as you may know, Kaos Kards isn't the only game we are working on. There are a lot of projects that we really want to finish. One of those games being the gambling game I made a devlog about a few months ago. The game is actually still getting progress, with even some new gameplay features like limited spins, upgrades, and a betting system. We also even got a goal, the goal being to pay off a huge debt that you owe by going to the casino. Pretty smart, huh? A little fun fact actually, while we were adding these features into the game, a certain little game came out very similar to our ideas. It's called Clover Pit. The game is actually really well done and looks amazing, but it's also very similar to our game, gameplay wise that is. I of course want to use this game as an example for what I can and can't do for the gambling game, but we actually decided to take a little break on the gambling game to work on other projects. This doesn't mean that we're done working on it, we just want to work on other stuff, so please be patient and there will be an update soon. Along with game projects that we were making prior to Kaos Kards, we also have a brand new game in the works directed by the one and only Felx Lamp. The game is called Layers, and let me just read out the description for you. In Layers, you play as a nameless stick figure dropped into a world you barely understand. You are not special. Others like you exist as shadows, corpses, or faint echoes scattered through the world. Some attack, some ignore you, others twitch and break apart. Your one and only goal is to climb. Every step upward pits you against enemies determined to stop your ascent. The world itself is woven from threads spun by being above. Even your body is bound by these strings. As you rise, you'll come closer to uncovering them. The game's structure is built around its layers. Each level is a distinct layer of the world, and the name carries a double meaning. Just as in an art program, layers overlap but remain separate. You can only interact with the layer you're currently in. With the press of a key, you shift between layers, revealing hidden structures, platforms, and pathways that exit outside your present plane. The game is still in a prototyping phase, and we are still experimenting with some stuff, but we hope that we can actually release this game sometime in the future. I am so happy with how Kaos Kards is turning out, and I can't wait to release it soon. If you like my game and want to see more of it, or maybe just like any of the other projects I'm working on, subscribe. It really helps me out, and it means so much to me. Well, yeah, bye!
I'm learning their language. Oh, hello, Chaos Cards.
Kaos Kards.